I wanted to talk a little bit more about the team competition sheet, just to make sure that you guys get this set up properly. You'll need to do a little bit of tweaking here, in addition to setting up the stuff in the do not touch section in column A and column C. After you get all of your names into column A, everything labeled correctly, and the stuff in this row, labeling your competition, matches this stuff right here. Okay, you'll need to also play around with the team competition as well, because as we found out last year, not all teams end up being the same size. Okay, so right now I have 13 guys on each team. They're labeled Jackrabbit 1 through Jackrabbit 104, which is the exact same as the data input sheet. Right now, I have this looking up the result from the week 1 sprint. Okay, so again, week 1 sprint is in this first column. If I adjust the drop-down menu, it will look it up automatically for you and give you the results. What you may have to do is you will probably have to chop a little off of the bottom of each of these, and then you may need to add people on over the course of the competition. So let's say after the draft, team 1 only ends up with 10 guys. So let's just chop that off of the bottom. Let's take out those last 3. Okay. They only have 10 guys. Up here on the top right is where the actual team average score gets calculated. So you will need to adjust the formula that calculates the average. So right now we have this looking up the 13 guys that were here before. So you just might need to contract that down to calculate the average for the 10 guys that are remaining. Okay, but let's say that somebody gets added on. Okay, and this happened last year when Matt Clark rejoined the team. Okay, make sure that they are added onto the data input sheet on the left-hand column. Okay, and then they can be added onto that team by manually typing them in. So let's say that Jackrabbit 11 was kicked off the team because he was an idiot, and then we let them back on the team in February. So he was already in the data input sheet, but you could just as easily just type him in and add him to the bottom. The order doesn't matter. He's typed in on data input sheet. We type him into his team. We will need to make sure we drag down the formula from above so it starts looking him up. As you can see, his score was 11, and then Jackrabbit 11 scores 11, so that works. And then you will need to adjust the team average calculator to factor in his score as well. So it was only counting the 10 because we contracted that down, but we added him, so we'll need to add that on. You could also have a scenario where somebody changes teams for whatever reason. So let's say Jackrabbit 15 goes to team 1. You can manually type that in, Jackrabbit 15. Make sure the spelling's the same. You can drag that down, and then again, his score gets looked up, but then it doesn't factor into the team average because, again, I'll need to drag that down one time because I added in another person, and then you would just need to make sure that you delete that person off of their previous team. Now this team only has 12, so team 2's average over here has this little, actually it changed, well that's good, okay? So the big thing to make sure is that after you have the sizes of your teams determined, everybody's lookup values are set properly, so you may need to drag down if you add people to the bottom, and then you would also need to slide the average formula to make sure it's covering everybody on that team. Okay, so we have 12 people getting looked up on team 1 and 2, but then team 3 and 4 still have 13, and that's getting covered by that entire average formula. That's really, really important just to make sure you're getting accurate team scores so the competition is fair. Okay, so I wanted to highlight that. That's really, really important. Of course, like I said, you guys will need to chop some stuff off the bottom probably, but then if you need to add people back on, I just wanted to make sure that you guys understood how to do that and making sure that they're included in these average formulas once you start calculating results from competitions after those people get added.